11:30
Good to
meeting
see
of
you.
MLGW to order. It is now 11:50.
Okay.
Order, please.
Mr. Matthews, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Corbett, Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Polo,
Here.
Councilman Morgan,
Here.
Councilman Swearingen, and Gerald.
We have one item on our agenda today, and that's a discussion of the smart meters and meter readers. We've had this item on the agenda for several months now. Because of the schedules of other council members, we were not able to discuss this item, and I'd like to leave with Councilwoman Jan Solberg.
Thank you so very much, Madam Chairwoman. Of course, there's so many questions that have, and so many complaints that have popped up regarding the smart meters and regarding the what will be the eventual outcome of meter readers. And certainly we don't want anyone losing their job because of, but that seems to be the case with the meter readers. And I had a list of questions that I had given. I think I had given them to you, sent them to you. Yes, I did. And I mean, you can just, I don't know how you peruse them or what answers you came up with them, but the bottom line is, many of the meter readers currently that we have are under the impression, the belief that their jobs are being, eliminated. And of course, with the smart meters, they certainly are. I was told that Mr. Christopher Bieber had told some of the meter readers during, I don't know if it was a meeting, you need to find you another job. And so, with that said, I don't want to rehash old mess because this is old mess. Councilwoman Jamita may have some specific questions for you, but I want to get into, many of these meter readers are having to do double, if not triple routes because of the fact that some have left, maybe due to attrition, maybe some have left because they were forced out. And President Collins, I give you all the respect in the world, I really do, this time. And I want an honest answer from you about these meter readers. Not the same old answer that I've been giving, and I hear from the meter readers how they can't do the job, how people's bills are being estimated, how individuals who have opted out of these meters are no longer receiving bills, and that is affecting them. They don't know what to do. I've had a number of calls. Sophia, Miss Wordlaw. I told Miss Wordlaw to call a certain individual, I think in Evergreen or somewhere, had not received a bill in 2 or 3 months. And he was saying, well, I'm going to pay what I paid the last month and so forth. That's not the first person that has said that to me. And you may not know, but there are Gestapo tactics being used against people for these meter readers. For these smart meters. They are being told that when an elderly person is being told, if you don't accept this, you're going up on your bill next month. And they do it. You cannot say it's not happening, Mr. Collins, because it's happening on a wide scale. And I just want, our citizens to know that this is happening. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll make an announcement to my colleagues. I'm getting a radio show. And you better believe that when I talk to people, listen. Eventually, maybe everybody will have to have smart meters. But they should not be subjected to the language, to the actions that they are being subjected to. I know we don't have that much time, but President Collins, you can start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 17, okay.
Before we,
Yes.
may I say that?
I know, because I'm not tired of this, The administration doesn't know what's going on. They don't care what's going on. All they care about is getting those smart meters on these homes. That's all they care about. Well, we saw in the news, a couple of weeks ago, how those smart meters are just really screwed up, all right? And it's gonna be some more screw-ups, and some more after that, even when President Collins is gone. So, you know, if you get to a point where, you know, you're jaw-jacking, and that's what President Collins is doing, he jaw-jacking. All right, thank you.
May I get Councilwoman Swears and then?
Yeah, sure.
You can get him first. Okay.
My comment, thank you, Shirley, and thank you, Councilman Swear, because it kind of fit in what Ms. Fuller has spoken. The thing is that Mr. Collins, members of the staff, this outside vendor that you have that's installing smart meters, it's factual that they're using Gestapo tactics on these homeowners and citizens. I just want you to know that. And the thing is that the greatest of my complaints that come from MLGW is the strong-arm tactics that this outside vendor is using. But they can do that because the liability is not going to fall on them. It's not going to fall on the MLGW. It's not going to fall on them like that's wrong. It's going to fall back on them. So what MLGW managed to do is they would have to get these people to become liable. Because they're not liable for anything, no more than insulation. But what they're doing, they're going into the communities and they're using fabrications, talking to the ratepayers about something that they need to do or they're going to do. And in some cases, they just went on and did whatever they wanted to do, even though the people said, hey, I think I've opted out, or I don't want these smart, vice versa. They're just using strong arm tactics because it's about the numbers games. The more they get in, the more they're going to get paid. It's simple. It's simple as that. It's like a commission game. It's just like selling cemetery property. Every time somebody dies, your possibility is great. But what I'm saying is that that's really what's going on. I mean, respectfully to management, that's basically what's going on. They use these type of tactics on the ratepayers, and we don't want 100 people to come down here to the meeting, because then it'd have to be a resolution on something. But the thing is, today, administration is being told now what's basically going on with this contract. I mean, they're using those type of tactics. And I won't put now. The only difference is that the contractor was contracted by the utility company. So I know where the liability falls, but at the same time, is factual. That's what they do. Diplomatic.
So I deal with customers all day long.
Sure.
And I deal with customers giving us feedback on smart meters.
Sure.
And we've been installing smart meters full deployment since May of last year. I've not had one customer give me a complaint about Gestapo tactics. And if you have an example of where it's occurred, give me the address of that customer and I will investigate it.
Let me just say this to you. Nobody goes to the end and tell them. They're going to come to these legislators. They're going to call. It's going to be in community meetings inside the communities. They're not going to take.
I go to community meetings. I talk to people out in the field
But
and
Mr.
meetings
Collins,
all
I'm
the
going to be
time.
straight with you. You are beginning to these people.
They complain. They give me complaints. They complain to me.
But the thing is, the ones that's not complaining to you is the ones that you're not seeing, sir. Now, if you don't
Give me
want
some
this-
concrete
if you don't
examples.
want- See, you just told me to give you concrete evidence. If I give you concrete evidence, Mr. Collins, it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt that contract as well. I'm not trying to impede.
If there's a problem, I want to fix it.
Well,
I can't fix it if I don't know what happened.
That's
Let's
what-
have some order,
This
please.
is order. Ms. Props, this is order. Man, Mr. Collins, this is a grown man over here.
Can
You
we,
talking, here's another grown man. We talking, I'm a legislator.
okay,
I'm in order.
I'm asking you to
Okay.
please, wrap up your comments, questions, so that, Ms. Councilwoman Swear just can get hers in, and then Mr. Collins can address all of them.
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do, I address what I want to address, and I told you about it. diplomatic.
Thank you.
Just diplomatic. Get into the other game, but if I get into the other game, it'll go very deep. It'll be 10,000 people in front of your building.
Councilwoman Swear.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I have been having some concerns, I think since October. We've been talking about smart meters. There's something, you pass it out to them.
Oh, okay.
I have been in tune with our constituents, and you're saying that you have not received many complaints regarding smart meters.
No, I've received some complaints,
Okay.
but not about the taco tap.
Okay. Well, let me
Hey, Council.
we received over 100 complaints.
Doing all right.
That's true.
Trying to get
From
them.
individuals. I'm passing out a list. You said you wanted some addresses and phone numbers. Many of them are opting out for smart meters, but they're installed anyway. Here's a young lady that gave me her paperwork. She opted out on the smart meter. Here's a letter sharing that was acknowledged from MLGW. It says that you recently submitted and signed a smart meter opt-out agreement customer acknowledgement form for MLGW, declining upgrades to the electric gas smart meter. This letter confirms that MLGW has processed your request and she still received the smart meter anyway. She asked for it to be removed, and the response that she received is that it was thrown away and she couldn't receive it anymore.
Oh, the old meter?
Yeah,
Oh, the old meter is
that-
thrown away.
Well, she asked for it to not be removed, and it was removed from her property anyway.
Which one is that?
Here you go. It was removed from her property anyway. We have individuals that are calling that have tall fence up, and they block the gates, and they send in opt-out letters. And people are climbing the gates and still going into their homes and putting the smart meters on. It's also a little confusing. You have opt-out letters now for the smart meter. You have opt-out letters for the water meter. And once an individual sends in one opt-out letter, they're under the assumption that it's for the utilities and water. So
If they said
is there
that
any,
one opt-out letters for all three.
okay, well, I sent in an opt-out letter for my utilities. I received another opt-out letter for the water, and they said, well, if you don't want us to change the water, you're gonna have to send that in as well. And so that's what other constituents are receiving is, here it is right here.
We only send out one postcard. We were sending out postcards for each meter. We now only send out.
Well, I have received all of them.
Well,
So everybody's
we
really,
stopped doing this probably around October, was that about
And
right?
if we get one opt-out letter, we opt them out for all three.
and you said
services.
that you stopped sending out the opt-out letter that share with individuals that they're responsible for the high fees that come with them. I never got the new letter that you sent out that disregards that. In addition to that, individuals are complaining. After they receive the smart meter, they're calling the office, month number 1. I didn't receive a bill. They called in month number 2. I still have not received my bill. They get a bill the 3rd month and it's over $1,000. I saw one $1,500. And they're asking for their bill.
Right.
Some are saying with the smart meters, the thermostat, whether it's set on 70 or 80, it remains the same temperature.
The thermostat has nothing to do with the smart meter.
Well, they're saying they didn't have that problem prior to the smart meter.
The smart meter has no impact on the thermostat.
But the thing is,
whatsoever.
there's no resolution. The customers, they're constantly complaining. And they're not receiving the complaints are not being rectified.
Right.
Most times, they can't even get anybody to answer the phone.
Exactly.
So we're being bombarded with the calls from the unhappy constituents, but there's not any resolution coming from MLGW.
Yeah.
Every complaint that I get from city council has a resolution.
Well, they couldn't because people are sending in opt-out letters and they're still getting smart meters.
And may I interject?
And when
very
they ask for
quickly?
their analog meter back, you tell them you threw it away? How is that being resolved? What's the purpose of an opt-out letter if they're gonna take it
So they're still
anyway.
getting an old meter, they're just getting an old digital meter.
They didn't want it removed. If somebody wants their car, you can't make them get a new one.
It's actually not their meter.
But why would you have an opt-out letter? If they can't keep their analog meter, why would you even send them an opt-out letter?
They can keep their analog meter if we don't go out there and change the meter. But if they send in their opt-out letter after we've made the change,
No,
then
this
we
is
can't go back and give them
No,
the
they,
analog
she
meter.
sent this in before you made the change. You all acknowledged that you received her opt-out.
On a Mrs. Gwen, is
No,
You know what?
and you took the
Miss
meter
Edwards.
anyway.
Can we get Councilwoman Fuller's question, because I have a couple I'd like to
Yes,
hear.
thank you very much. You know what, I think this administration, and I'm talking about you, President Collins,
Man, it better be.
you are showing blatant disrespect to this council and also to the citizens of Memphis. You're sitting up saying that you all are, you know, every complaint we get, we have a resolution for it. No, you don't. I have had people that have called me that said they have called and talked to people, whether customer service or whatever, and they tell them, well, you know, there's some kind of test being conducted in your area, and that's why you're not receiving, you know, a bill. And you sit up and look at me like, we know she gonna go off, so we ain't gonna pay no attention to her. You better pay attention to the citizens of Memphis, because I think you don't believe that all of these people are making these complaints, but they are. They're not receiving bills. You guys know exactly what you're doing. President Collins, you know exactly what you're doing. You are sitting up using all of these twisting arm tactics with the citizens here of Memphis. They don't want the smart meters, some of them. You gotta put them on their homes anyway. These, whoever you are subcontracting for, are making money for whatever meters they put on. Many of these elderly people don't know what to do when they say, I don't want them, and they put them on anyway. Director Collins, Christopher Bieber, you guys need to wake up and look and smell the coffee. Now, this is coming from me, not Worth Morgan, not anybody, but just from me. I hear it. I hear the complaints. I hear the cries of elderly people. Why are they doing this to me? I didn't want a smart meter. They really believe that these smart meters are gonna blow their homes up any minute. They believe that. And rightly they should. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Chair.
Councilman Morgan.
Just to follow up, rightly, they should not have the reasonable fear that the smart meter is going to blow their house up anytime. That has not happened. I believe there's smart meters on 43% of homes in the country. Is that correct? Or roughly?
Close to that, roughly.
Roughly about that number. And honestly, I think a lot of this problem we have is because the council allowing or recommending for an opt-out policy that never should have happened. I don't think anybody should be opting out of smart meters. I think analog meters and digital meters are a thing of the past.
I don't care what
The
you
same
think.
way an aluminum trash can is, and we don't have those out anymore.
But wait a
We
minute,
have
people
one
should have the
efficient
ability
standard.
to opt out of something if they don't want it, if they think that it's not good. If we did not have the analog meters, they would have said, Mr. Councilman.
It's not in the best interest of MLGW customers long-term in terms of efficiency and spend. It's just the country and the technology has moved on from what we've had in the past. And like I said, we did it, you know, garbage cans are a good example. We don't have these aluminum cans. We have more efficient green cans. We have one standard that are loaded and set to be lifted into the garbage trucks. Same thing with the analog meters. We have technology, safe technology, that doesn't, necessarily need for the meter reader job anymore.
So, yeah, we just take jobs away from people, just throw them to the side. They no
It is
longer,
happening-
our computers and
history
everything are
of the
just
world.
taking over. That's what
As
you're saying.
technology makes
That's what
advances
you're
in
saying.
industrialization,
And is
internet,
technology always
We have to move
correct?
with it.
I know we have to move.
We gotta get our questions answered.
I'm sorry.
So I'd like to I'll get you, Mr. Collins,
I'm sorry.
first minute. Let me just kind of reframe the questions today. This is not about who should get smart meters and who should not get smart meters. This is about customer service. And I believe that we've had a serious lack of transparency and communications with the community. I personally have, anybody that's written me anything, I have forwarded to Mr. Collins, and he has made sure those items were taken care of. But I have hundreds of others that I did not forward. I was just able to talk to them. But that's not my role as a council person, to filter all these calls about smart meters and opting out. My role is to ensure that we have proper legislation so that we can make sure that our community is a safe community, a community where they can trust Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. Our concern here is about people asking not to participate, and then they automatically, they're in the program, and then we're not kind to them and trying to rectify their problem. I don't want one, I get one, and then people talk to me and they're, I know for a fact, I'm sitting there listening to them, I'm asking them to make calls while I'm sitting there so I can hear what's being said. And it's not what the statement is, it's the tone in which they're getting those responses. The young men, whoever working for Apex, have no clue. They're saying whatever it is that they want to say. I even tested the young man in my house. I said, my husband, I said, tell him, he gave us some specific things to say. And we just kind of laughed about it. The customers are not getting their deals in a timely manner. We know that. And we know that there may have been some breakdown in communications with the computer system. However, all we need to do, you have a communications department, is communicate with the public, at least on a weekly basis. This is where we are. These are the problems that we're having. We're not getting rid of meter readers, but we are reducing the staff. But right now, it might be they need to increase them, but it's my understanding they don't have the people. Those are the kind of things you need to share with us. What are we going to do as a community to share and communicate if there are mistakes? Here's a number you can call and get somebody and get your mistake corrected. We might not be able to put another old analog meter on there, but this is what we have left in our inventory. And we need to tell our community how many years of inventory we have left, or how many pieces we have left to fix the old ones, and just be truthful with them. We might have 6 months worth, a year worth, 2 years. We just need to communicate the truth so they don't have to keep calling back and keep calling back, and have a number that they can call and get their situation resolved. And I know bills are always a courtesy. They need a bill, and it needs to say something so that our citizens can pay something toward their bill. And I've gotten even very intelligent people say, well, they didn't send me a bill, I don't owe them anything. No, that's not correct. You do owe them something because you're still using utilities. But we, as a courtesy to the citizens of Memphis, we need to make sure that they know that this is either estimated bill, or this is your bill, or we'll chew it up on such and such a date.
Let me tell you something, and I appreciate your diplomacy as a former employee, of Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. I appreciate that, I really do. But the bottom line is, maybe we need to know what council people are making money off of these smart meters, because we know there's money being made. And maybe that's why we have so much disrespect coming from the administration, snubbing your nose up in our face, snubbing your nose up at the citizens of Memphis, that they're gonna get a smart meter whether they like it or not. This is a diplomacy. This is a democracy. Maybe Donald Trump and got to too many folk saying, well, if Donald Trump can do it, he can push stuff off on people. We gonna push stuff off on people, right, President Collins? We gonna push it off on y'all and you gonna like it. That's what you're doing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I would like to request some consistent practices. Okay. You all have shared that there's only one opt-out call. This says what? Installation in hand, this is the water meter with her. If you don't mail it in, no later than 30 days. This says your utility meter. There's two different ones. You're saying it's only one opt-out meter for everything.
There used to be multiple cards, but we changed that.
I just got this 2 weeks ago.
should just have one card now.
I got this in October, I got this 2 weeks ago.
The one that said utility.
But hey,
The one that says utility, I got that, before the new year.
Yeah.
right to the church.
But then he said the language has changed on it.
No, it's.
He said that I received the other meeting, he said I received the last one that had this, language that says, I acknowledge that I will be charged the existing higher service fees and utilization of non-communication meters and sign below.
Councilwoman Swerve, we have run out of time for we're at our next meeting. We haven't gotten our questions answered. I'm sorry to have to ask you to come back next meeting and be able to address those issues. Now that we have one communication with each other, citizens know they should have only one communication. They don't know that. I got
You want some addresses, here's some addresses.
Is that, are they all on screen?
Quite a few of them, those that aren't, I have the names and I can look them up or
Please
wherever.
get the staff to forward it to MLGW and be prepared for next meeting to answer the questions that you wish today. Thank you, Mr. Manager.